quickly, I wanted to ask you about the hobs.
Yep.
And if I got shorted, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a 3 or a 5 on top. Is that a 3?
It rolls up. So the higher number would be the lower number. So that would be the bottom of the 3 going
so
towards
it should be
4.
Okay.
Which it is. So if it was a 3, if it's ever halfway between, and they have written the lower number, you can write the next number and just mention it inside to say, hey, it was at between 3 and 4, and they wrote 3. I don't want to pay for a tenth of their time.
Is that what happened here? Is that the case?
Exactly. That's a good point. So just let them know up front.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my. So I just flew with this guy, and he did the same thing. So it was halfway, and he didn't take it. You don't need to pay for this flying.
Okay. So that is a 3 above the 4.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
And of course, the other side of that is when you log it, if it's halfway, do the right thing and
round up.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do the pre-flight before starting engine. Acronym for that, safety, right? So we got seat belts.
Yep.
Looks like you put mine on. Okay, so we got seat belts, air vents.
Yep. It's really is passenger comfort, right? So vents. It's really about all you have here. There's heat if they need it.
Okay.
And I usually say, if you feel sick, let me know. We have a sick bag.
A barf bag back there?
Actually, I'm not sure if there's a barf bag back here. I always bring one with me, but maybe there's one here. But maybe not. But anyway, just
So I should probably pack.
A is about passenger comfort.
Passenger comfort. A. Okay. And then F is fire. If the plane or engine is on fire, we have fire extinguishers inside of the Regal Air office as well as at the fuel station. If there is a fire, we would try to extinguish it or ask for help or assistance inside the office. E is for exit doors.
I think an emergency. So how to get out of your safety belt. Okay. Yep. And how to get the door open. So how would you get out of the plane in case we had an emergency landing?
Okay. And then T would be traffic.
Yep.
If when we're up in the air, if you see any airplanes in the area, let me know. I will do the same.
Sure.
More eyes in the sky, the better. And Y is, do you have any other questions?
You got it.
Okay, then comes passenger 3. Seatbelts fastened, fuel trail-off valve is set to on. Electrical avionics are off. Circuit breakers all in. And brakes hold. Okay. Starting engine, full rich. So we're going to go all the way in. Throttle, quarter. Okay, we're in. Carb heat cold. Okay. Prime is needed, 1 to 3 strokes. So, would I prime it?
I don't think so, because we just flew it for, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Probably just maybe give a couple pumps on the throttle should be enough. There you go.
Beacon lights are on. Propeller area is clear. And we will clear prop. Okay. Clear prop! What did I do wrong?
Missed some on the
master
checklist.
switch. Yeah. Okay, where was that? Master switch. Okay, you got it. All right. Clear prop! Franklin, oil pressure green. Oil pressure green. Mixture lean. Flaps up. Radio set.
Form pan ground. Use caution echo as non-movement. Advise the beam Delta 2.
We'll advise at Delta 2 and moving on echo.
Number 2 Lima uniform, are you going to the east condos proper or just the grass area north of the east condos?
Loud and clear.
To the east condos proper. Ground 3564 Juliet Hotel, officer
Permission, Boeing South ramp to EMC.
Boeing radio car, pan ground, stand by, you step on somebody. Other aircraft calling pan grounds again?
3564 Juliet Hotel, Fox 2 for east condo.
654 Juliet Hotel, pan ground, taxi via Foxtrot.
Foxtrot 4 Juliet Hotel.
November 2 Lima uniform, advised at Delta 2.
Can I get the ATIS? Advised at Delta 2.
Roger.
Helicopter 102 Lima uniform coming up to east
0, dew point 11, altimeter 29er. Visual approach currently in use, landing and departing runway 34 left and 348. Notice to airmen, taxiway Charlie centerline markings between terminal ramp and central ramp non-standard. Taxiway Delta centerline markings non-standard. Taxiway Golf centerline markings non-standard. Hazardous weather information for Western Washington available on flight service frequencies. Advise on this call, the information Delta. Same field airport information Delta 2253 Zulu observation. Wind 3306. Visibility 10. Skies clear. Temperature 20. Dew point 11. Altimeter 29er. Visual approach currently in use. Landing and departing runway 34 left and 348. Notice to airmen, taxiway Charlie centerline markings between terminal ramp and central ramp non-standard. Taxiway Delta centerline markings non-standard. Taxiway Golf centerline markings non-standard. Hazardous weather information for Western Washington available on flight service frequencies. Advise on this call, the information Delta.
runway.
Same field airport information Delta 2253 Zulu observation. Wind 3306. Visibility 10. Skies clear. Temperature 20. Dew point 11. Altimeter 29er. Visual approach currently in use. Landing and departing runway 34 left and 348. Notice to airmen, taxiway Charlie centerline markings between terminal ramp and central ramp non-standard. Taxiway Delta centerline markings non-standard.
All right.
A little bit of delay lag on mine. How do I fix that?
What's that?
1 second delay on my mic.
Oh, no way. I don't hear that.
I hear.
Oh, I gotcha. So this is your squelch. What that means is that you are too much squelch. So turn it that way a little bit. The outer one. There we go. Try it.
Testing. Yep,
Yeah.
That's better.
So we turn it that way. When we're flying, if we hear like sometimes the sound of the wind will activate the mic, and you just hear this constant. So you turn it to the right to suppress that.
Okay.
But if you turn it too far, it'll start cutting off the beginning of what you say.
Got it.
So you just got to kind of tweak it till you find the right spot.
Okay.
Helicopter 2 Lima uniform, able to side set to Lima.
Okay. So what's next here? Radios, transponder, alt ground. Is that?
Transponder. Let's get it on the VFR. So it should be on 1200. Just click the VFR button. There we go.
I'll get you going again.
And brake test.
772. I'm just holding here
Yep.
on Delta.
And we're going to go left.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So right brake. Okay. And left brake. Okay. And both brakes.
Okay, I have controls.
You have controls.
I have controls. Right, left, and both. All right, you have controls.
Okay. I've got controls.
Got controls.
Okay, moving on to before takeoff. Cabin doors latched.
So we will, all that we'll do out of the runway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll taxi down to the end here.
Okay.
Call up the ground controller.
Ground. The aircraft is currently left base. Has no landing gear indicator, but the gear does appear down.
Oh wow. That's the second, like, kind of emergency.
No indicator,
Really?
but the gear appears down. We'll be here at the station.
Thank you.
So the gear.
Aircraft +1 giveaway to all emergency crews.
Wow. The gear looks like it's down from the outside from the tower, but he doesn't have an indication, which could mean it's locked. So when he lands, it could collapse. I hope it doesn't.
Mike Alpha 6 going to North Corporate.
November 269 on Mike.
So we're going to park right here for a moment?
Yeah, and then we'll call up
Alpha to Bravo.
around.
Niner,
But they might hold us. We'll see.
Sure.
Call. West departure.
So it would be Payne Tower, Cessna, what are we today? 5490 Bravo. With information Delta.
Yeah.
Requesting
Taxi for west departure.
taxi for west departure.
All sounds great except one thing. Departure.
Okay.
It's ground, not tower.
Thank you.
And Payne ground 772, request to proceed.
So 772, continue taxiing.
772.
Okay.
Ground, Airport 3.
So
Airport 3, Payne ground.
what they're going to come
Airport
back?
3 is on terminal ramp requesting Juliet Alpha to Alpha 10 for the
They're going to say
India,
3-4
Airport 3,
left.
proceed as requested, and
Alpha,
it's
not sure.
4008
And
kilo.
taxi route. Taxi route's probably going to be
4008
Charlie Alpha
3 proceeding
or Delta Juliet
Yeah,
Alpha.
they're about to
You can write
touch
those
down.
and circle the whichever one if you want.
And
Charlie
calling Payne clearance
Alpha?
earlier,
Yep.
was that
Or Delta
Cessna
Juliet
1646
Alpha.
Charlie or Cessna 16?
Could be something else. And
For Charlie.
they'll tell us a number for Alpha, like Alpha, probably Alpha 7, but not sure.
And Cessna
Okay.
64 Charlie. There's a duplicate flight plan here for obviously the other call sign. You want me to remove it or leave it open?
Are we good?
Cessna 64 Charlie, you're cleared to the Renton Airport, Payne 6 departure, then as filed. Maintain 2000, departure frequency 128.5, squawk 4702.
Well, he's reading back. That's an IFR clearance. Just a second there, and he'll say read back correct, and that'll mean that they're done.
Cessna 1664 Charlie, read back correct, advise ground and tower departing IFR.
He'll answer that back. So you should be able to get.
Payne ground, Cessna 24529, Golf 2, taxi, central ramp.
So it's 24529er, Payne ground, taxi via Golf.
Taxi via Golf. All right, your turn.
Central ramp via Golf.
Payne ground, Cessna 5490 Bravo with information Delta, taxi for west departure.
Cessna 5490 Bravo, Payne ground, runway 34 left, Alpha 7, taxi via Delta Juliet Alpha.
34 left, Alpha 7, Delta Juliet Alpha 5490 Bravo.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Only thing I forgot to tell him is where we are, but they know their call sign so well by now that he knew we were at Regal, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Payne ground, Navy on 00 kilo, Alpha 6, request taxi back central ramp.
Navy on 4008 kilo, Payne ground, taxi via Alpha and then Charlie, please.
Alpha Charlie, central ramp, 0 kilo.
Our lesson's 4:30 to 6:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask you.
Archer 29 Juliet Alpha 7 for
Delta Juliet
West Hangers.
Archer 29 Juliet, Payne ground, taxi straight ahead across Alpha, use caution for the fire truck.
Straight ahead across Alpha, we'll go behind that.
So our lessons are 2 hours long.
Yep.
I was thinking, instead of doing 3 times a week, what if I did 3-hour lessons? Is that something that students often do instead of coming in, 3, going in 2 times a week and doing 3 to 4 hours?
I think it's a good idea. It's a great idea because number one, you're paying for less time on all this time.
Yeah,
you're spending less on that.
That's what I was thinking.
Navy on 08
The
kilo, do
problem
not
is
take Delta.
these planes are limited on how much
Kilo,
fuel they
not taking
carry.
Delta.
So
Navy on 08 kilo, you're giving Alpha Charlie, but that's okay.
Is this guy coming my way?
nope, you better not be.
Payne ground there on 6033 X-ray, clear at
Okay,
Golf
stay Charlie.
2 for...
Yeah, we're limited on the fuel that we can carry in these aircraft.
6033 X-ray, Payne
So
ground, taxi via Golf.
if you push it much further, you
033 X-ray.
run the risk of running out.
Which way am I going? Sorry.
Delta and Juliet, right this way.
Payne ground, 0
Don't
kilo. Sorry about that.
yeah, there you go.
Navy on 08 kilo, no
And
worries.
then we'll take a left on Alpha, which is
Left
right
on
here.
Alpha.
Here, clear to the right and clear to the left. There's a vehicle over there, car.
See it?
I hope he'll probably give way to us.
Payne ground, Airport 3 back with you at Alpha 6, requesting Alpha Hotel 1.
Airport 3, Payne ground, proceed via Alpha, Hotel 1 behind the Cessna.
Alpha Hotel, or Alpha Hotel 1 behind
We're
the
going
Cessna,
all the way
Airport
down?
3.
Yep. So he's going to hold for us. There goes the fire truck because of that call.
Oh. Is that on the other runway, 34?
I don't know. I wasn't quite listening that close. Yeah, that's the problem with retractable gear is that sometimes you can't get them down.
Right. So the tower was saying that they look like they're down, but he was saying the indicator lights were showing they were up.
Yeah, well, yeah, showing that they weren't down. When you lower the gear, it goes down and locked. When it's down and locked, you should have
3 green lights.
3 greens, yeah, or however many gear you have. All right, this is Alpha 7.
Okay. So we're going to pull far to the left.
Oh, it sounds very good. Don't let that wheel cross that double yellow line.
Gotcha.
And let's point it kind of in the departure direction. This is good enough.
Okay. All right. Before takeoff, cabin doors latched.
Doors latched and window is secure.
Flight controls free and clear. Okay, rudder.
Payne ground, Cessna 8139 uniform at Hotel 1 for northbound.
Ultra test.
Cessna 8139 uniform, Payne ground, verified Delta.
Okay. Flight instruments set.
Yes, Delta.
0
November
knots,
39er uniform,
blue
runway
over
34
black.
left Alpha 7, taxi via Hotel 1 Alpha.
29er, 9er.
Taxi via Hotel 1 Alpha, 39 uniform. Top 7.
Over black, I like that.
Okay. Mixture rich, going all the way in. Throttle friction lock set.
On the flight instruments, there's one more to set.
Flight instruments. The heading indicator.
Yeah.
So we're between 30 and the W. So we're, by the way, if I can get this right here, let's see. Big tick. It's that. 31. Is that it? No.
I'm seeing like around, if I put my head right in the middle there, I'm seeing around 282. That looks like about 278.
So I'll go.
That's 280, yeah, that looks about right. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. And then vertical airspeed is close to 0, so we're going to consider that as our 0.
Yep.
Okay.
Payne ground, Skyhawk 1664 Charlie, Central Ramp ATP with Delta, requesting taxi IFR departure.
Potential aircraft information echo, current wind is 33005, altimeter 29905.
Down about 100.
Calling Payne ground from ATP, say again.
And back, right.
Payne ground, Skyhawk 1664 Charlie at ATP with echo now, requesting taxi IFR departure.
Oil pressure, temperature, in the
64
green.
Charlie, runway 34
Suction,
right, taxi via Gulf.
green.
34 right,
Ammeter
taxi via
check.
Gulf, 64 Charlie.
We're almost at 28 and just about 0.
Yep.
Payne ground, Bonanza
No lights,
1833,
no light here either.
Alpha 6, taxi to east side contact.
Bonanza
We're gonna go back
1833,
down
Quebec,
to
Payne ground,
idle.
taxi via Alpha, Juliet, Delta, Lima, hold
Who
short
taught you
of
that?
Gulf.
You did.
Alpha,
I
Juliet,
didn't teach you
Delta,
that.
Lima,
I don't usually
hold
teach
short
that.
Golf.
Yeah.
But I know the
Quebec.
other instructors do.
I think it was maybe Seth then.
Probably South, yeah. It's a good thing. It's funny because I wasn't taught that myself, and I should teach it. And when you do it, you could actually pull in carb heat, which will actually make you go down a little further.
More, yeah.
Yeah. And so just to make sure that.
And Payne ground, Tango November 79884 is off at Alpha 6 for Northway.
Radio set. Okay.
Second November
so
7984, Payne ground, taxi
tower.
Alpha, Juliet, Delta.
Tower's going to
Alpha
be
Juliet, Delta, Tango November 84.
left. 132.95.
1000, temperature 21, dew point 11, altimeter 29905.
Visual 30 Foxtrot, Roger. He's 2 o'clock, about 2 miles northwestbound, 3,600.
All right, 30 Foxtrot's leaving 3,500 for 3,000.
And number 30 Foxtrot, additional traffic at your, and 3,000 is approved, but additional traffic 2 o'clock and 3 miles northwestbound, 3,000, Cessna.
I'm looking for the second one. I don't have either yet.
No problem. Number 9 Bravo Tango, continue your climb. Traffic 10 o'clock and 2 miles northeastbound, altitude indicates 3,300, descending to 3,000.
City climb, we have traffic in sight, 739 Bravo Tango.
All right. Ready for takeoff for west departure. They like to know your direction.
Traffic 3,100 does have you in sight.
All right, 30 Foxtrot, I got one.
And before we do that, departure briefing, what's your rotation speed?
Rotation speed is going to be 55 knots.
Hey, Berm, I got the high one. Okay, I got the second one now.
And the takeoff section.
And 30 Foxtrot, Roger, thanks.
Takeoff.
Takeoff.
Rotate.
Number 30 Foxtrot, additional traffic for you, 11 o'clock and 2 miles southbound, altitude indicates 2,400.
Yeah, okay. And we're going to climb at VY, which is 667.
All right, that guy was 11
and
o'clock.
If engine fails on the group, if we have engine trouble or any trouble on the ground, we'll pull the power to idle, get on the brakes.
Number 946.
If it looks like we're going to run off the runway, I'm going to shut stuff down. I don't want to hit whatever we might hit with engine running and stuff, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn the fuel off, ignition off, master off. That way, if we hit something, there's less chance of a fire.
30
Things are off.
Traffic's passing off.
Engine fails after takeoff. We're going to go to best glide speed, 60 knots.
Inside, 30
and we're going
to
control the airplane.
Low, 12 o'clock.
Stay calm. Find a place to land. Best option we have.
3 miles ahead.
Probably I'll turn right because there's a lot of open concrete over at Boeing. If we get to a good enough altitude, we might try to turn back and land here on the runway or here on the grass or taxiway, wherever is safe, you know. That's departure briefing.
Thank you. Okay, so it'd be Payne Tower, Cessna 5490 Bravo. Runway 34 left at Alpha 7, ready for takeoff for west departure.
Got it.
We're 9 Bravo Tango, thanks for the help. Pre-change for see ya.
And then he would say cleared for takeoff, so we would say cleared for takeoff 34 left.
34 left, yep.
Okay.
Or he'll say standby.
Payne Tower, Cessna 5490 Bravo, runway 34 left at Alpha 7, ready for takeoff for west departure.
We're 54900 Bravo, Payne Tower, westbound approved, runway 34 left at Alpha 7, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff 34 left, 5490 Bravo.
Number 30 Foxtrot, last traffic's at your 12 o'clock, about a mile and a half now, southeast 2000.
All right, let's rock
yeah,
and roll.
30 Foxtrot has him inside. Is he talking to you? You're going to Payne?
Number 30 Foxtrot, he's not on my frequency. I can see if he's on the east side.
Okay, 30 Foxtrot. Reason I asked, I'm going to Harvey.
Number 30 Foxtrot, Roger, standby. And number 30 Foxtrot, he's not up on us. I would assume he's probably going to Harvey as well. Free change approved. Have a good day.
All right, 30 Foxtrot, switcher. Thanks for all the help.
Anytime.
Just fly the plane. Don't worry about the door.
55. Rotate. Little bit late. Climbing for 67.
Payne Tower, Alpha 7.
Just fly.
Number 813 uniform at Alpha 7 for takeoff to the north.
Number 813 uniform, Payne Tower, runway 34.
And this is a good opportunity because we'll fix it once we get up to altitude.
Got it.
39 uniform, clear for takeoff. That's not good.
A little bit to the right. I'm a little fast. Should I put my nose down?
If you're fast.
Nose up.
Yeah,
sorry,
nose up a little bit, yeah.
67. Right about there.
Alrighty. Can you hear the sounds?
Yes, I can.
The hissing, so watch.
Yeah.
I'll turn it up a little bit. I'm turning both up just little increments. There.
Right when it cuts off, that's when you're good. Okay.
And of course, every time you talk, you can still hear it. But when I stop talking, it should go off.
Gotcha. Yep.
And you can set your volume here, whatever you want.
Okay.
I moved it so that you can hear the hissing. All right, we've passed 1300. We can turn to the west, heading at 240.
240.
And we can climb up to 2,500.
2,500.
I don't know if you got, it looks like you got your door closed, huh?
So, yeah.
Cool. All right. The main risk of door opening is that people will freak out and not pay attention to flying the airplane. There was an American singer, I don't know, he, probably before your time, his name was John Denver. He was a pilot.
Okay.
He bought a plane, he took off out over the Pacific Ocean, and there was some type of door open or something behind him that was distracting him, and he was like reaching around and messing with it. He crashed into the ocean and died. So,
wow.
So that, and it's happened more than once, like airliners, that there's a sound like a little panel door is left open or something.
Okay.
And it just was distracting to them. And so the main risk, the thing is just keep flying. If the door's open in flight, the best fix for it is to get just get yourself level, get the aircraft trimmed for about 70 knots. So just pull the power back and slow down to about 70. Then all you gotta do is just push out and just slam it really hard, and I'll close it.
Gotcha.
Kind of hard to do if you're going faster than 70.
And we have information echo.
What heading are we trying to go for?
240, and you can level off at 2,500.
46 Charlie.
All right, there's your altitude, so you can level off. So you're training for a private pilot's license, which obviously means that you are going to be flying VFR visual flight rules, which means you'll always be able to see the horizon, what's outside. After that, you can get your instrument rating so that you can fly inside clouds and bad weather and stuff, do instrument approaches and stuff.
That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. But even though you're not an instrument pilot, we want you to have basic skills that if you got into trouble, you accidentally flew into the cloud, or if you were just flying in a really dark place at night where you didn't have any very good visual references for where the horizon is, that you would be safe. John F. Kennedy's son, Bobby, died.
I heard about that story. Yeah.
Because he was flying, it was visual, it was not clouds, but it was evening over open water. There was just nothing.
No horizon,
and he lost control. So you have to have a total of 3 hours of simulated instrument, and we're going to get that started right now.
All right.
So I brought foggles. You can buy some of these if you don't feel comfortable using mine.
Okay.
But I'll take controls. I have controls.
You got controls?
Yeah. And you have controls?
I've got controls.
And you're using the same instruments as always. Always come back to this guy. This guy's going to keep you alive because this really tells you, that you're level and where the ground is. And one of the main things is we're just really smooth and slow and gentle on the controls whenever we're in instrument conditions.
Okay.
If we're turning, we're not doing really steep banks. We do standard rate turns. So a standard rate turns means the little wingtip just comes down to the first line, either left or right.
Yep.
It's usually around a 20-degree bank or so.
20 degrees would be here, the big...
Each line is 10, so that's 10, that's 20, that's 30.
Okay.
10, 20, 30, that's 60 down there, so yeah, a very shallow bank.
Okay.
All right, so just maintain a heading of 240.
40.
And I'll let you just try to maintain your current altitude. In a minute, we'll do some climbs and descents. So I'll just let you get into
2,500
straight and level. Yeah.
All right.
You're going to climb, just at full power. Yep. And just don't pitch that nose up too much. And I'm looking out for traffic for us. All right.
Pain Tower, King Air 111 Tango Charlie. Be ready to go upon reaching.
King Air 111 Tango Charlie, Pain Tower, runway 34 left at Alpha 4, clear for takeoff.
34 left, Alpha 4, clear for takeoff, 1 Tango Charlie.
Alright, so I'm going to just keep you in here for a total of 3 tenths. Okay, let's climb up to 4,000 feet on a heading of 240.
4,000 feet.
Yep.
King Air 1 Tango Charlie, contact departure, good day.
Departure 1 Tango Charlie, so long.
Number 46 Charlie, runway 34 left, clear to land.
Runway 34 left, cleared to land, 46 Charlie.
Okay, right turn to 330. 330.
330 on 3,000 feet.
Okay, yeah, standard rate. There you go. Okay, let's climb to 4,000. 4,000.
4,000.
On the heading of 330.
330, 4,000.
We are about 3 miles southeast Buckley, doing stalls at 3,200 southeast. Okay, yeah. State you up.
I'm trying to stay at 500 feet per minute. Is that the goal, or should I go?
You know, just climb the airspeed that you want, really.
Okay. I just don't know if we're going too slow.
Oh, that's fine.
This bad boy up there. Airspeed 60, looking okay.
So, you know, VY is 67. Do you remember what that means?
Best rate of climb?
Yeah, that means that'll get us to 4,000 faster than anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So actually lowering the nose will actually get you there quicker,
All right.
theoretically.
Level off.
All right, nice job. Okay, let's turn left to a heading of 240.
240.
4,000.
4,000.
Have you ever done this in the simulator?
Not technically, no.
Yeah. As you know, sim is just great when you go get your instrument rating. It's just like the perfect tool. And just maintain standard rate.
Southeast practice area 60904 Foxtrot, about 2 miles east of Lake Tapps at 2,400, slow flight.
Gonna go down to 4,000.
Okay.
How's our speed?
Speed is fine. All right, let's descend down to 3,000 and let's descend at about 90 knots. So you can pull the power back maybe 2,000 or so and just use pitch to maintain about 90 knots to come down to 3,000.
What heading are we going to be at?
Stay on 240.
240.
Yeah, actually you can come around to a heading of south and continue your descent down to 3,000. 90 knots, looking good. Standard rate turn. Yeah, you're doing a good job controlling the airplane.
Thank you.
All right, level off 3,000.
3,000.
And you can add back a little power. So if you did happen to fly into clouds, one of the escape maneuvers is to just do a 180-degree turn. So say right now we just flew into clouds, we want to do a 180-degree turn. Well, the first thing we'll do is like, what's going to be our heading after we finish a turn? All you got to do is look at the bottom of your heading indicator. So we'll be on north, right?
Right.
And so you can do a standard rate turn either left or right. Now I'll show you something.
2 minutes.
2 minutes is a full 360.
Okay.
So a standard rate turn should take about a minute. I don't really, I wouldn't really time it, but it just kind of gives you a sense of how long it would take. So let's just do that. Let's do a standard rate turn like we're going to get out of the cloud.
So standard rate turn to here will get us all the way around in 2 minutes, but 1 minute will get us to north?
1 minute will get us to north, and I'll time it actually. Let me set my timer here on for flight. Well, let me know when you're going to start.
Okay, ready, let's go.
Alrighty. And just hold that standard rate.
Looks like there's some hot air balloons in the practice area.
Yeah, we got eyes on that.
And we are
4, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Alright, it's fairly close.
yeah.
And of course your turn wasn't perfect. No problem. It was pretty close. So it's about a minute.
Yeah.
And theoretically, you know, if you came from an area where there was not instrument conditions, a 180 turn would take you back out.
Okay.
Another maneuver to escape it, which I had to do the other night, Wednesday night, I flew with a student up to Bellingham at nighttime. And nighttime is kind of tricky because you can't always see where the clouds are.
Right.
And they were lower than forecasted, so we were climbing and suddenly, boom, white. So in that case, all we did was just lowered the nose. Just lowered the nose and descended out of those clouds. And we were immediately out of them within a few seconds.
Okay. So your instinct would be to lower and not go up.
Yeah, because if you're going to go up, you're going to go more into the clouds, right?
Okay.
I mean, you could potentially, if it was a thin deck, you could climb above it, but you really shouldn't be doing that if you're not on an instrument flight, right? All right, let's see where we are here. So, okay, got one more tenth of an hour. Let's do a climbing right turn to 4,000 and turn to a heading of east.
Climbing right turn 4,000 to the east.
Yep.
Okay.
So whenever you get to the heading of east, you'll just stay on that heading and continue climbing to 4. Continue the climb and come around to right to a heading of 120.
120.
Yep.
Leveling off.
Okay.
A little bit more. Okay.
Awesome. All right, that's point 3. I'll take the controls and you can give me those glasses back.
Got controls.
Yep. Alrighty, you have controls.
I have controls.
And now you can see again. Let's just fly at 4,000 feet. So let's talk a little bit about emergency operations. So we only have one engine. If it stops, we're going to land, all right? And so we need to practice for that. And there's a good memory trick. There's a lot of memory tricks. So for engine failure, it's ABC. A is airspeed. Get the glide speed. So you immediately want to get airspeed of 60 knots trimmed so that if you take your hands off, it flies 60.
Okay.
That's going to give you the best gliding distance, which will give you the most amount of opportunities of places to choose from to land. So A is airspeed, B is best place to land, so pick a good place to land. And C is checklist, so you go through, you flip it over, the yellow is emergency, the very first one is what to do if the engine fails. The first box is trying to fix the engine failure. If that succeeds, you're done. You should probably maybe go land, but you're kind of done. If it doesn't fix the problem, then you're going to do a forced landing, and so that's that second box. Okay. And basically what the first thing does, like I said, is it tries to get the engine started. So you're going to make sure your fuel is on, make sure it's rich, carb heat's on, ignition. These are all things that will help the engine if it's having trouble.
Okay.
If this doesn't work, the forced landing is about shutting things down. So if we're going to do a forced landing, we want to make sure everything's off so that there's no fire. So it's about turning this off. We don't actually do it. We kind of just like pretend in the plane.
All right.
So turning this off, turn the fuel selector off, turning the ignition off. After we get whatever flaps, we would turn the master off and so forth. So that's kind of what the checklists are about. Now, as far as the second thing, so first is airspeed, second is best place to land. Picking a best place to land, there's another acronym which is SLOW, slow. S means surface, so you want a nice smooth surface, right? Paved surface is great. A runway is great, so if you're near an airport, land that there, you know?
Okay.
L is length, so longer is better. Longer gives you more room to make mistakes and get her in there. O is obstacles. You want a place that doesn't have like big trees or big mountains or big power lines that you might run into. And W is wind, so just like we take off and land into the wind at the airport, if possible, you want to try to land into the wind.
So is the wind, do we have a tailwind if I'm looking at the waves? Is that what we've got going on?
It kind of looks that way, and Payne said 330, which would be a tailwind. Yeah, so the wind's going that way, so we'd want to land this way.
Okay.
Because that means our touchdown speed's going to be slower, and if we run into anything, we're going to hit it at a lower speed. So, I know that was a mouthful, and I kind of threw it at you in a hurry.
Yeah.
But let's just pull the carb heat back and pull the power back and pretend that we just lost an engine.
Okay, so I'm going to pitch for 60.
Yep. And to get it trimmed in, it's pretty much, you're trimming way up for 60, almost all the way up. So just trim so that it'll hold 60 hands off. And whenever you're ready, start looking around for a good place to land. That's got a nice, smoother, kind of flat surface.
I see some land down there, but I don't know if that's enough runway space for us where that white barn-looking shed is.
I think that's a great place. I've actually used that place before. So what we can do is start kind of a circle around that, because we got some altitude to lose.
Okay.
If it was something over that way, we would just head for it. Or, you know, if we had to go get there, but we're pretty much there. So just circle around that. Just start a turn.
So keep circling, or
yep.
do I want to try to land into it?
Well, basically, you're going to circle over it, and you're going to have to kind of plan it so that when you roll out, you'll be pretty much lined up. And I'll kind of help you with that.
I'm too high to go on the first try, so we're
totally.
going to probably have to do a couple of rounds, right?
Yeah, and generally speaking, each circle will lose about 1,000 feet. So we've got a couple circles to do here.
Okay.
Now, we said we wanted to land into the wind, so probably that way. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So now you've got A and B. Go ahead and start going through those checklists on the other side. What I do is I do one item, and then I look up and look around and make sure that I still know where my field is and maintain my situational awareness, look for traffic and all that stuff.
Okay. So I've got landing site selected,
Yep.
carb heat on,
Yep.
pulled out, primer in and locked.
Yeah, make sure that's locked. If it's not locked, it could actually flood your engine. That could be the reason why your engine failed.
Okay.
All right, now take a look at your field. Make sure you're still where you want to be. Keep your turn coming. And this is kind of good that we're circling on this side, because when we roll out, we should be able to turn right on to the, right on. So keep maybe a 15 to 20 degree turn going, something like that. So, yeah, there we go. All right, keep going through that checklist.
Okay, then we've got fuel shutoff valve to on.
Okay, it's on.
Okay, mixture full rich is in.
Yep.
Ignition switch on both.
Yep, so both. So that didn't fix it. So now we're going to go ahead and do an emergency landing.
Okay, radio call.
So that would be, you'd call whoever. Right from here, we're close to Payne. I would call Payne Tower and tell them, or you could use the emergency frequency 121.5 and call that and just say, hey, I'm where I am, and I'm doing an emergency landing, so somebody will come looking for you.
Okay. Airspeed at 60,
yeah.
Flaps down.
As we need the flaps, yeah.
Okay. Mixture idle cutoff.
Yeah, and just take a look outside, make sure you are where you think you need to be. Good.
We're at 2,500 feet.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Fuel shutoff valve, off. Okay, off.
Okay, ignition switch off.
Off, off.
Master switch is off.
You would wait till you get your flaps, because you need the master on for flaps. So after you've got your flaps as you need them, you could turn that off.
Okay. Doors unlatched.
Before touchdown, we would open our doors to make sure they didn't get jammed and we didn't get stuck inside.
Okay. And touchdown, tail low, brakes as necessary.
Okay, cool. And we're going to come around one more time. And I believe we're at 2,000 feet.
Pilot 724 Tango Mike is 1 mile south of Lake Stevens, and I'll be conducting maneuvers at 3,500. Lake Stevens practice area.
Doing a good job on your speed. So now we need to kind of look at how things are looking. Okay, just keep your turn coming. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Now what we can do here as we come around, let's see here. Let's do this. Go ahead and get in flaps. Go ahead and get 20 degrees of flaps in.
20 degree flaps.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead and get full flaps actually.
Full flaps.
I'm going to show you something. I have controls.
You have controls.
I'm going to do what's called an S-turn. So we're a little bit too close. So look, instead of going straight to the field, I'm kind of doing a little bit of an S over this way to lose some altitude. And I'll show you another maneuver. It's called a forward slip. So I'll teach you this later.
I've done that before.
Okay, cool. Keep that nose down, and we can just do a forward slip from here.
Yeah.
And that should get us down in there. Now we're at 1,000 feet, so I don't want to bother these people. I'm going to go ahead and add power.
Okay.
RV cold, flaps 20, and I got tons of trim here. And let's go flaps 10. Climbing at 67. So we would have totally made it into that field.
Awesome.
Worst case scenario, we might have gone a little off the end, but by that time we would have been pretty slowed down, and we would have hit stuff really slow. But I feel like we would have gotten it in really well.
Good.
Okay, you have the controls, and you
I have
can
controls.
climb back up. So I recommend, if you don't already have the pilot's operating handbook for the 152, that you buy it.
Okay.
It's online, you can get a PDF, but I always feel like if you want to learn to fly the plane, just have it.
Okay.
Chapter 3 of that, I recommend you read the whole thing, the whole book from cover to cover, but Chapter 3 is emergency. And you can read about what we just did. You can also read about other types of systems that can fail. Let's talk about those just a little bit.
Okay.
So we have an electrical system that operates the radios, ammeter and all that stuff. So how do we know of a failure of that system? Well, obviously, if the radios just went dark, we would know. But a lot of times, the first indication of a problem is going to be either a high volt light or a discharge light or a low voltage light. If that happens, you've got a low voltage light checklist right here,
okay,
which really pretty much equates with turning this off, the avionics master, and then turning the master off and on. The master is not needed for the airplane to operate at all. It's completely separate from the ignition system.
Oh, okay.
So turning the master switch off does not turn off the airplane. It keeps on flying. Some airplanes don't even have an electrical system, right? Old airplanes don't have radios and they don't have electrical stuff. They don't have lights. And turning that off and off and then turning the avionics back on might kind of fix it. If that does fix it, you're good. If it doesn't fix it, if it comes back on, you should go land, okay? And that's all right here, the low voltage light. So what usually happens is like if the alternator is overcharging, there's a sensor in there that will basically take the alternator offline, and that's when you'll see that light. And that's really kind of protecting you from fire, because overcharging can result in electrical fire. So that's kind of what that system is all about. If you ever needed to turn the alternator off yourself, this battery is split into two halves. The left side, if it should say it right there, is alternator. Yep. So you could turn that off, and it would take the alternator offline, which would mean that you're no longer charging the battery, and eventually the battery would run down and stuff would start to fail.
Well, would there be any scenario where you'd want to turn just half of it off?
The alternator?
Yeah.
You'd want to if you had like an overcharge situation, and the only way that you would really see that, like right now we've got just like less than an amp of charge, but if you happen to notice that like I've got like 10 amps or something like that, you might want to shut it down. Of course, in if there was an electrical fire in flight, you got this right here. So the first thing you do is turn the master switch all the way off, right?
Okay.
Just get the electrical system off. You would turn the avionics off, turn everything off, all the lights, all the radio switches, everything off.
So at that point, you've got no communications with the outside world. You're on your own.
Exactly, which is a million times better than having smoke in the plane and having a fire, right?
Okay.
So you'd much rather not have the radio than have an electrical fire. This plane doesn't have fire extinguishers. The 152s don't have fire extinguisher.
Why is that?
That's a good question. You have to ask Regal that question. Probably for cost, but they should have it, right? Yeah. I feel like they should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people actually you could bring your own fire extinguisher if you wanted to buy one. But yeah, anytime that you smelled like that, you know the electrical burn.
Smell.
Yeah, I would definitely get on the ground quickly and probably turn the master off. So that's electrical. Let's see. Let's make a 180 turn.
Okay. So if you smell electrical, you're turning the master switch off. You're heading back to the airport. How are you going to land without any communication, letting the tower know?
Well, if you don't have communications, you are still able to go and land at Payne Field. So the way that works is you should kind of stay outside the airspace and look at the traffic and get a sense of if they're using 16 or 34. And then once you kind of see that, you can just like enter the pattern. Of course, you need to find a space. You know, don't make somebody deviate. Work your way into the pattern safely, and just keep an eye on the tower because they can give you a light signal from the tower.
Okay.
So look for that green light to land. Although a lot of times people have said that it's really hard to see that thing. So in an emergency situation, you've got the right to land, right? So you got the right to land. Once you land on the ground, again, look for the signal green for taxi, but you can totally come in there.
Would we be able to practice that with tower on a slow day with them and actually ask them to do
we can ask them to turn on the signal, yeah, totally,
okay.
Yeah. Of course, another thing you can do, depending on, you've got the Bose, you can call the tower. It's good to have their phone number in your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And you can hook up your Bluetooth to your phone and call them. Or you could just go to an uncontrolled airport. There's one right here on Whidbey. There's Arlington. So you are not required to communicate to go land there, right?
Okay, yeah.
Let's see, what else? Other systems, we've got the vacuum system, so that keeps both of these guys going. It spins the gyros for both of these. If that guy failed, probably wouldn't notice because the gyros kind of keep spinning for a while, so these kind of keep working. Over time, this would start to be floppy, and this would maybe start spinning or show the wrong heading.
Okay.
But for VFR flight, it's really not that important, right? Because we can see the horizon. This is an artificial horizon. We don't need it because we got a real horizon. And this, we've got a backup here. So we can get by without these pretty well. Alrighty, let's see. What can we do now? So like I said, if I were you, I would get that POH and go through Chapter 3 and understand all the possible failures and what to do There's some other things in there like, of course, if you have an electrical failure, our flaps depend on electricity. So one thing we can practice is a no flap landing. You don't have to have flaps to land the airplane, okay? Let's see, what else can we talk about? Let's go ahead and get our ATIS, and you can start descending down to maybe 3,000 or something. Okay. We can get our ATIS in here, and we can go back and do it touch and go or two. What am I doing? 12865.
0 at 5, visibility 10. Clear below 12,000, temperature 21, dew point 11, altimeter 299 or 5. Visual approach in use, arriving and departing runway 34 left and runway 34 right. Notice the airman has this weather information for Western Washington available on flight service frequencies. Advise on initial contact. You have echo.
Okay.
Greenfield Airport information, echo 2353 Zulu, wind 330 at 5, visibility 10. Clear below 12,000, temperature 21, dew point 11, altimeter 299 or 5. Visual.
We'll hold short for 4350, Pop.
Boeing 021, heavy runway 34 left, full length, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, Boeing 021, 34 left.
Comanche 4 Bravo November, right turn out.
We didn't get our lights before takeoff.
4 Bravo November.
So, strobe and landing light will make us more visible to other airplanes.
I flew Tuesday with Ben, and he said he likes to leave the, what is it strobe? The light for the headlight flash?
Yeah.
Is that the strobe?
No, the strobe is on the wingtips. The headlight flash, which basically is the landing light that comes on and off, it's called pulse.
Pulse, that's it.
It's not in all aircraft, so we don't have it here.
We don't have it.
So for me, if I don't have a pulse, I just turn the landing light on.
Okay.
If I have a pulse, I use pulse. Because it's the same light, it's just whether it's on all the time.
He likes to fly with it on, just for visibility.
Absolutely.
We've got traffic coming up.
Yep, thanks a lot. But actually, there's a lot of traffic in here.
34 left, Boeing 021.
Wow, there's a lot of traffic coming through. They're 1,400 feet below us, and there's traffic 500 below way over there, but not a factor. Okay, you can call Payne Tower. You can say we're over Useless Bay, and you can say touch and goes with information. Echo.
Payne Tower, Cessna 5490 Bravo over Useless Bay, requesting touch and go with information.
Echo.
Affirmative, Boeing 021.
Boeing 021, heavy right turn Alpha 3, taxi across Alpha this frequency.
Alpha 3, cross Alpha, this frequency, Boeing 021.
Payne Tower, Airport 3, holding short 34 left. We're requesting.
And what is he going to say back?
He's going to tell us how to enter the pattern, and I can do the read back if need be.
Yes, okay, that sounds good.
He'll probably say enter left downwind 34 left.
Station 961 Bravo Alpha, Payne Tower. Once you get to the shoreline, just follow the shoreline northbound. I'll call your main turn.
1 Bravo Alpha turning north at shoreline.
Payne Tower, Skyhawk 138 uniform is 15 miles to the west over Hansville, inbound to land. I have information, echo.
1383 uniform, Payne Tower, check in at 8 miles, please.
Check in 8 miles, 83 uniform.
Payne Tower, Cessna 5490 Bravo over Useless Bay, requesting touch and go with information, echo.
So the 5490 Bravo, Payne Tower, enter a midfield left downwind runway 34 left.
Left downwind 34 left, 90 Bravo. Okay, you were going to get, I'm sorry.
90 Bravo, traffic 12 o'clock, correction, 11 o'clock, 2 miles southbound, also indicates 3,000.
Looking for traffic, 90 Bravo. Okay. But there was one he said at 11 o'clock, which I'm looking at, it should be out there. You have controls.
I have controls.
But our current heading, they should pass in front of us.
Above or below us?
They're below 300 feet. And they should be right off the nose.
Right there.
Got them?
Yep.
Oh, got it. Yeah, cool. Traffic aside 90 Bravo.
90 Bravo, roger.
All right, so we're going to enter a left downwind, so we'll go straight towards the tower, turn that way, base and final. Another thing in the emergency scenario is survival gear. So an airplane, we can fly over those mountains and we can be over terrain that's like really remote. that we might have to spend the night. People have survived emergency landings and then not survived the environment that they ended up in. There was a senator, U.S. senator, that happened to. So if you're doing cross countries over that type of terrain, think ahead and take some stuff like sleeping bags. And I don't know if you've heard of the 10 Essentials. It's there's a backpacking organization that kind of came up with these lists, like 10 things you need, right? All right. You can
1 o'clock in 2 miles, 1,300 in the downwind.
You can.
1 Bravo Alpha northbound.
Yeah, you can research 10 Essentials, but just think ahead. If you're over a desert, take water, take some food, take some shelter, first aid kit.
74 Bravo November, runway 34 left.
Make sure your phone's charged. You know, all those things. Just think ahead.
At what point do we want to start a descent?
Go ahead, head on down.
Number 39, inform turn-based traffic holding in position.
So, what RPM are we want to be on a descent?
You know, you really have options on it.
Bravo November, minimum delay, please. Traffic in a 1 mile base.
You can actually descend with like almost full power. It's just that you're going to go faster, right? But I would say around 2,000 would be good for us.
Bravo Alpha, turn towards the base.
With the climb, you're always full power because these planes are underpowered. They don't have a ton of power for climbing.
Gotcha.
But for descending, it's kind of your call. Today I was coming back from across country and we were kind of running late. So I said, descend with power. And we got way up here in the yellow arc, which you can do as long as it's not turbulent.
Okay.
You can fly in that yellow as long as you don't pass the red line.
All right.
So we were way up at like 130.
Oh, wow.
And we were making up time. But coming into the pattern, you don't generally want to come screaming in here, right?
Yeah.
Number 1 Bravo Alpha, direct the numbers, please.
1 Bravo Alpha turn.
We'll just do one touch and go, then we'll do a full stop.
34 left.
President 2112, paying tower. Your number 3 following a stationary and a 1 mile left base. Minimums, please.
So do we enter in on a 45 or we just go in and then a 90?
Just straight in. So we'll talk more about traffic patterns. Here at the controlled field, we just kind of do what he says. If it was an uncontrolled, the 45 is kind of the standard entry. I'm sure you've learned about this. But here, you know, if he says enter a downwind, I pretty much always go straight for the tower, you know, and then turn.
What's on Woodby, 50 Papa?
Have we talked about, there's a school right there at about 1 o'clock with a green roof.
Yep.
Have we talked about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Try to aim for that, go over it.
Yeah, because that's about 3/4 of a mile from the runway, which is pretty much what the downwind should be. It should be, they say between half a mile and a mile, and that's 3/4.
And when do I start to turn so that I align with it?
I'll let you know. Not yet. If you start turning now, you'd be way out over the water.
Okay.
Kind of get a sense of it with time. Keep on coming down. We'll level off at 1600. We could do like a pre-landing checks, and I just do a flow, like safety belts. Fuel selector's on, flaps, and I do safety belts and fuel selector. Then I start here and just go left. Up, rich, set, RV cold, fine.
Thank you.
Lights are on, ignition both. So that's kind of my flow for pre-landing. And he's talking.
90 Bravo. Once in the downwind, you'll be following embryo traffic on 3 mile. Final report traffic in sight.
Looking for traffic, 90 Bravo.
Number 83 uniform start, descent to pattern out.
Just keep on going.
3 miles opposite direction.
So we're going to be following a jet, so we need to exercise wake turbulence avoidance procedures. And I see him on here, but I don't see him.
President 2112, affirmative view number 1, runway 34 left, clear to land.
34 left, clear to land, 2112, thanks.
Traffic in sight, 90 Bravo.
90 Bravo, follow that traffic, caution wake turbulence number 2, runway 34 left, cleared for the option. On the go, make left close traffic.
Clear for the option 34 left, 90 Bravo. So he said caution wake turbulence. Do you see the jet? He's about 12 o'clock right now.
Over there? Yep,
yeah.
Coming in?
Yep.
For final?
So what we want to do, I don't know if we've talked about wake turbulence, but we want to stay above his path. Once we get over there, we're going to stay above his path, and I'll help you do that. And you've actually gotten below the pattern altitude, so we want to get back up to 1600.
4 Bravo November, extend downwind, I'll call your base.
Got my base, 4 Bravo November.
Number 1383 uniform, once in the downwind, extend downwind, and I'll call your base as well.
In downwind, extend, 83 uniform, and you'll call me.
Number 83 uniform, that traffic's now 11 o'clock, 2 miles southbound, Cessna 2700.
Okay, now we're pattern altitude. So what we're going to do,
The traffic off your right, 2 miles, Cessna entering the
we're
downwind.
beam the numbers. Go ahead and pull the car beat on.
Traffic 50 Papa.
Tower
Number
15.
Uniform traffic does have you in sight.
Copy, sir.
We're right in the white arc, so 10 degrees. And let's go ahead and turn, well, let's wait just a second. Go ahead and turn on the base and go ahead and get 20 degrees of flaps.
7990 Bravo, turn base, helicopter traffic about 3 miles south. You will be following you in.
Turning base, 90 Bravo.
Helicopter 0 Lima Foxtrot, you'll be following Cessna traffic in a 1 mile left.
So what we want to do is we want to stay high above his path. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to kind of stop my descent here.
Turn right when able, contact ground point.
We're pretty short in, we're pretty close in, so this is, and what I like to see on the PAPI, those lights, are 4 white lights. That means we're well above the glide slope. An airliner is always going to fly the glide slope, you know.
90 Bravo, go around offset to the west side of the runway, please.
Going around and offset to the west, 90 Bravo.
Helicopter 0 Lima Foxtrot, you'll now be number 1, runway 34
Oh
left.
my gosh, he made us go around.
34 left.
And he wants us to stay over to the west.
4 Bravo November, you'll be following helicopter traffic about a 3 mile final.
I think it's because the airliner was on the runway.
4 Bravo November, we
There
have
you go. Carb, cold.
4 Bravo November, roger. Base is your discretion to follow that traffic. Number
All right,
2,
just climb them at 67 up to 1600.
4 left, clear for the option behind the helicopter. 4 Bravo November.
Oh, this is a good introduction.
Number 90 Bravo, thanks for the help. Just continue straight out and I'll call your crosswind.
Roger, and we'll be full stop, 90 Bravo.
Number 83 uniform, start a southeast turn towards, more towards the base, please.
Southeast turn, 83 uniform.
Pain Tower 90 Bravo was the go around because of the Embraer on the runway.
Number 90 Bravo, affirmative.
Thanks. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Number 90 Bravo, I tried to just give it to you as early as I could for planning.
It works, 90 Bravo.
Number 90 Bravo, you're following Cessna traffic, entering the downwind off your left, crosswind your discretion.
Look for traffic, 90 Bravo. Oh, he's over there. Oh, he's way behind us. Yeah.
Uniform, you're following Comanche traffic.
And so try to maintain the 1600.
Report traffic in sight.
Looking at 3 uniform.
Alrighty. This should be calmer.
So we're kind of going opposite of traffic.
Yeah, exactly, because that's what he told us to do. So go ahead and turn a very short crosswind.
Number 90 Bravo, turn crosswind.
Turn crosswind, 90 Bravo. Alrighty.
Helicopter 0 Lima 5.
Pretty much just do a U-turn.
Just hold short of Alpha and contact ground 121.8.
Not too steep, about 30 degrees.
21.8 till Charlie Alpha.
Try to maintain 1600. You're a little bit high. Keep on coming around.
We're at 3 uniform. Thanks for all that traffic. Number 2, runway 34
we'll just head for that high school to get our distance set up.
Number 2, behind traffic, and this will be a full stop, 83 uniform.
We're at 3 uniform. Roger, number 2, runway 34 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, number 2, 83 uniform.
We'll fly over the high school at 1600. All right, do your landing checks. So seatbelts, fuel selector, flaps are up, mixture's rich, throttle set, car beat's cold for now. Lights are on, ignition both. And we're over the high school. We're about 3/4 of a mile away. I kind of just head towards downtown Seattle. It's kind of a good reference. There's somebody on final.
Right there.
Okay, cool. And there's also somebody turning base out there. I can't see him.
1 o'clock.
Okay, you got good eyes. You got young eyes. Yeah, so we're going to be number 3. Well, we haven't been cleared yet.
That's 1.
Yep.
Is that 2?
Yeah, and he's probably going to clear us number 3.
How did you know that he was 2?
Well, because that's number 1.
Okay.
That's the first guy. And that's the second guy. I'm assuming he's landing on the same runway. So
Did he tell us we were 3?
No, but I'm just counting.
Bravo, you're following Cessna traffic. They're 12 o'clock, 1 mile on the base. You're number 3, runway 34 left, clear for the option.
Clear for the option, 34 left, number 3, traffic inside 90 Bravo. All right, so what we'll do is we'll wait for him to pass, beam us, and then we'll turn behind him.
Gotcha.
Any questions about the wake turbulence avoidance?
No.
We can...
so if we were behind him, we would want to land above his touch point, right? Touchdown.
Yeah, we basically land beyond it, yeah. And for taking off, we'd want to take off before it. But as far as takeoff goes, they're going to make you wait 3 minutes after a big jet takes off. Okay. And if they don't, just say, hey, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. Don't do it. You know, even if they cleared you, don't do it. Okay, you can go ahead and turn on your base leg. Get the car beat on 1500. Let's go ahead and turn on the base.
Turn on the base.
We're in the white arc at 10 degrees. And yeah, fly around 70 knots on base. You can control that with your pitch.
Same as last night, right? The bigger, slower, and full stop.
Bigger, it doesn't seem to be much slower, but it's a little wider, and it's definitely going to be full stop for you if we can.
Sounds great.
Okie doke. Whenever you feel it's ready, you turn on your final. We're a little low, so I might add a little power. That'll give us a little altitude. Alrighty, I'll give you 20 degrees of flaps. Alright, looks like we're about on glide slope. Just head straight for that runway at about 60 to 65. I'll go ahead and get full flaps for you.
Bay Tower, Skyx 278 Charlie Alpha, with information Alpha. With the information Echo, 10 miles to the
Sunset's coming earlier.
Can we do touch and go on 34 left?
Was that 278 Charlie Alpha?
Affirmative.
Number 278 Charlie Alpha, roger, you can enter a left base for runway 34 left.
Left base, runway 34 left.
A little bit high, so I'll pull some power back.
Number Charlie Alpha, sorry, you did 134 left, correct?
34 left, correct.
All right, Charlie Alpha, roger. Just set up for a 3-mile left base for 34 left, please.
3 mile left base for 34. 278 Charlie Alpha.
All right, Charlie Alpha, my apologies. That was my fault. Set up for a right base, 3-mile right base for 34 left.
Right base for 34 left. 278 Charlie Alpha.
Hey, Tower, Glass Air 29 Papa Delta.
Glass Air 29 Papa
You're a little bit low 60, so here's what I'll do. I'll just give you a little bit of trim down, and that should get you, help you hold that speed. Trim is kind of
uniform, turn right off
really helpful for maintaining a speed on final.
Contact ground point 83 firm.
Glass Air 29 Papa Delta, enter a midfield left down 134 left. You'll be following Comanche traffic approaching midfield.
Papa Delta, midfield, following Comanche.
Very good, stable approach here. Just hold that, don't do anything crazy when we get close to the ground, just kind of stay relaxed. Alright, we're over the runway, so I'll slowly pull the power back, and you can just kind of level off, just hold it for a second. And then when you feel it start to sink, just slowly pull the nose right up to the horizon. And soft as it could be. Get on the brakes so that we can get slowed down enough for Alpha 7. And we can always take the first exit. We don't need any permission power, but a lot of times they'll say, exit Alpha 7, contact ground point 8, or something like that.
Number 8 Charlie Alpha, follow the edge of the Delta and just follow the edge of the Delta around to a straight in for 34 left, please.
Roger that. Following the edge of the Delta, we'll do straight in for 34 left. 278 Charlie Alpha.
Comanche 4 Bravo November, runway 34 left, clear to land. You be number 1.
34 left, clear to land. 4 Bravo November.
Number 90 Bravo, you going to parking?
That's affirmative, 90 Bravo.
0 Bravo, contact ground point 8. Have a good night.
Y'all have a good night too, 90 Bravo. Alrighty. You have controls, and you can do the after landing checks.
After landing checks. Okay, flaps up. Repeat. Lights as required. Steer lean. And transponder ground off. Oh, wrong way.
That's alright. Let's turn this up. Yeah, it's just two fingers.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Alrighty.
Gotta switch to ground.
Yep.
The frequency, do you know?
121.8.
I heard you last time say 0.8.
There you go.
Just as a, when you called over the radio, 0.8.
That's what they say. They say called ground point 8. So a lot of airports will say ground just 0.8, and it's understood as 121.8. Some airports is 0.9.
It's just kind of...
Class Air 9 Prop Delta, you're following Comanche traffic on a 1.5 mile final, number 2, runway 34 left, clear to land.
All right, we're at Alpha 7 going to Regal.
Okay, so it's Payne, ground, Cessna 5490 Bravo at, where are we at?
Alpha 7.
Alpha 7?
Uh-huh.
Number 9 Prop Delta, when you start your base
Taxi
turn,
to
just keep
Regal.
it, turn and direct the numbers, please.
Let's say that again for Glass Air.
And 90% chance he's going to say
keep it turn and
taxi
direct
via
the numbers,
Alpha
please.
Juliet
There's a
Delta.
Cessna joining a right base that'll follow you.
Alpha Juliet Delta. 90%.
Up for you.
Thanks. Number 8 Charlie Alpha, you're following a Glass Air in the opposite base. They're going to go direct the numbers. When able, report traffic in sight.
Switch it over.
Alpha 7 for 34 left with Echo.
Number 105 Tango Charlie, pin ground, runway 34 left Alpha 7, taxi via Hotel 1 Alpha.
Hotel 1 Alpha, Alpha 7, 5 Tango Charlie.
Payne ground, Cessna 5490 Bravo at Alpha 7, taxi to Regal.
Alpha 5490 Bravo, paying ground, taxi via Alpha Juliet Delta, remain right side of Alpha.
Alpha Juliet Delta, remain right side of Alpha 90 Bravo.
Commander 5 Tango Charlie, remain right side of Alpha.
So we're going to pass a plane on the taxiway. I've never done this before. And they're going to have 2 planes passing each other on that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that they were able to do this legally. But it's such a wide taxiway. That's kind of cool. All right, you have controls. Just stay on the right side.
Okay, I got controls.
It's kind of like a highway with a... That's pretty crazy. Hello. Like passing each other on the freeway. That's funny.
So we're on the Alpha. We're going to turn left on Juliet onto Delta. Is that?
Left would take you to the runway.
Sorry, right. Yeah, right onto Juliet.
Yeah, you got it. And so slow down a little bit. That A means we're on Alpha, and the J means the next right is Juliet. So next right is Juliet.
34 left Alpha 4 Bravo November.
And as soon as you get on Juliet, you'll see the J with the black background, where it means you're on Juliet, and next right will be Delta. And next left would be Charlie.
On left here?
Right there it says the next right is Delta. You see right there, that sign with a yellow D?
Yeah.
So that means the next right is Delta.
Oh, next right is Delta. Okay.
Yep. And that tells you that we're on Delta going this way.
So black tells you where you are, and the yellow arrows point to where you're going.
Yeah, and it's after. So, for example, after this sign, the next right is Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so that sign tells us that we're on Delta, and that the next right after that sign is Delta 1.
So that D1 means if you turn there, you're going to go to Delta 1?
If you turn left there after the sign, you will be on Delta 1. And Delta 1 is just a very short little kind of an exit.
Altimeter 2992.
Alrighty, and I don't think we can pull straight in, but we can.
We're going straight still, right?
Yep, we'll keep on going straight. And
yeah, you might have to park because of the other planes behind us.
Well, I don't think I think we'll have to shut down and then push the plane in. Let's go down a bit. Let's pull the power back a little bit. There. Keep going straight. I don't think we can pull it straight in. We'll see. That yellow plane's in the way. Yeah, it's in the way. So we just.
Castle 6, Pengram, proceed with Bravo Alpha Charlie.
Okay, well we'll take a left and a left, and just in front of the spot.
Paying ground, Regal 24 at Central, short of Delta, requesting echo.
Regal 24, paying ground, proceed via Delta, Delta 2.
Proceed via Delta, Delta 2, Regal 24.
All right, first spot's 152 Lima Tango. Second spot is 4937 Papa. Third spot is 5490 Bravo. They're in alphabetical order. The 150.
90?
Yeah. Yeah. Just go straight ahead, like this. We'll pull just a little bit past it and just stop right here and shut down right here. Read follow checklist. So before you shut down, you want to get the electrical avionics off. It's going to damage the electronics to shut it down with them on.
Oh, avionics off.
Yep. Shut it down with them on.
Oh, avionics off.
Yep. This hole with this hole, and then push the pin through. Okay, so these little things go on to here and here, and what I encourage people to do, as opposed to like reaching under the propeller and putting your body within the arc of the propeller, I would do it from the side. Okay, spring loaded. A lot of people, it's hard as heck to push right here, so what we're going to do, push either here or here.
Not on the cowling?
It's better to push on the top. Yep. Okay. And here. Push that all the way. I've got some students who are, that's good. Right, okay. I've got some students who are completely clueless about that. And if you just look at, well, exactly, if you look down there, you can see that the mains, the line is kind of halfway between the main and the nose wheel.
Oh, I see.
One thing I kind of do is you can kind of see that it's not completely perfect, it tails off a little bit. So here's kind of the trick. Okay? Yeah. So
do it for you. So what you do, of course, watch your tail because you don't want to run into anybody.
Oh, yeah.
But you can push it back. Just get that nose kind of on that center line. That's good enough right there. Once it's on the center line, just pull it on that center line
to line it out.
And it will, after you move just a bit, it should straighten it out pretty well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And now it's right on it.
Yep. Very cool.
Okay.
I can meet you inside.
Huh?
I can meet you inside if you
Okay,
want.
cool. These guys?
No.
Yeah, so basically, when you tie it down, if there's a bunch of slack in there, just kind of like, just pull as tight as you can.
Okay.
Just pull. Oh, a little bit better.
The one I like the best. That's what I heard from you. But you know, I was going to ask you, with the radio communication, I kind of like the thought or idea of flying the 152 Lima Tango, just because it's easy to remember because it's a 152.
Oh, okay.
Is there any preference? I mean, if I took that one, would you be opposed if I did that one?
Well, honestly, I think I'd rather, I mean, choosing a plane just because it's easier for you to remember the call sign, I think it's better for you to actually force yourself to learn other call signs.
Okay.
Because
fair enough.
It's going to be another airplane.
Right.
Okay. And then there's the selfish side. 549 Bravo has more legroom. I'm a tall guy, you know, and it's a lot more comfortable.
Okay. That's weird that they are saying.
Honestly, you're paying for it, so you get to choose. But, okay. I always encourage people
Last flight I flew with Ben, and he was very honest and upfront with me in telling me that he's probably not going to be here after the end of the year.
Oh, really?
Well, he said maybe because, I forget what he was saying. So, anyways, I wanted to ask what your intentions were, because I really like flying with you out of everyone.
I like flying with you too. My intentions are to be gone probably by like March or April. I'm not exactly sure. It's just whenever I get the hours I need for the airline. So things are looking good right now. The airlines are really trying. They're desperate for people. So as soon as I get the hours, I should be out of here. So probably March, April. Hopefully, definitely by May. It's hard for me to predict because things are going to slow way down as far as my flying in the winter. It's because the days are short and there's a lot of days that the weather's just not flyable. But I'll keep you posted as I know, and we'll get you as far along as we can.
Cool.
So today is the
24th.
.3. Okay. This is only our second flight together, right?
Yeah. We had a third one, but it got canceled because of weather.
Today we did emergency approaching landing. Simulated instrument. We talked about weight turbulence avoidance. Talked about system failures.
Emergency.
Talked a little bit about survival gear.
We did a little IFR practice. We did a little bit of climbs and turns.
Yep. So I recorded 0.3 hours of simulated instruments. Like I said, you're going to need a total of 3 hours.
Okay.
And that's 0.3. So 2.7 more, but we'll work on getting those.
That first line that Lauren was supposed to fill out, should I have her just fill it in? Or there is a sheet in the back, a sticker in the back that she filled out. Is that in lieu of that, or it's kind of nice to have the whole thing? It's on the very, very back. Yeah, right there. It's like endorsement.
Oh yeah, no. That's basically saying that she checked that you're a U.S. citizen.
But does she need to fill that first line?
Yeah, just ask her. Just ask her to fill it in for next time you see her.
Okay.
So today we talked about door open, so the door can pop open, the window can pop open, which is kind of really startling because it makes a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
Main thing is just keep flying the airplane. These are not emergencies. Only if you make it an emergency by over focusing on that as opposed to flying the airplane.
Okay.
So you can. But the bottom line is, just keep climbing, get to a safe altitude, get out of the pattern where you're not, with it open, and then fix it. Or just tell tower like, hey, I've got a window open. I would like to come back around and land, and just handle it calmly. You did a good job on the simulated instrument. A lot better than a lot of people. That controlled the aircraft nicely. You controlled altitude settings really well. So that was really good. As far as the emergency approach and landing, that also went really well. We were in a pretty good position to get into land. And of course I kind of took over and kind of showed you the forward slip to kind of lose that altitude, which we're going to learn a little bit later on. But we came around, but like when we finished the final turn, we were at about 2,000 feet. So we were high, but I didn't want to do another turn away from there because I wasn't sure.
Just in case we couldn't make it back.
Yeah, it's better to be high than low because there's ways that you can lose altitude. So flaps are one way, kind of doing S turns. Instead of going straight to the field, I could do S's to dissipate my altitude, and the forward slip were all ways to lose altitude.
Yeah. I've done the forward slip on the simulator. How often is that used on just normal landings? Do pilots use that?
I don't use it a whole lot. But it is a way, if you're high, that you can lose altitude. So yeah, it's and then of course if the electrical system fails and you don't have any flaps, that's something you can use to get to lose altitude without gaining airspeed.
Okay.
Some aircraft don't have flaps, like somebody was telling me that they trained in an older aircraft, they didn't have any flaps.
Okay, for Cubs, maybe?
Cubs don't have flaps, I think that's true. So they slip it every time. They slip almost on every landing, they'll slip to lose altitude. And then so we talked about, ABC, airspeed, best place to land, pick it, head towards it, go through your checklist.
How important is headwind when you're picking a spot? Like if you can't tell which way the wind is going,
just land whatever is most convenient for you. It's not always easy to tell.
What other ways you can tell if you didn't have the water?
The best way is if there's any smoke in the area. That's the kind of the gold standard. The water, you can kind of tell from the water as well. Sometimes you'll be able to, if you can see like a big flag or something blowing or whatever. Apart from that, if we're close to Payne Field, we can just kind of assume it's the same as Payne, which it kind of was today. So, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. The main thing to remember about emergency approach and landing is like the number one thing above everything else, far above everything else, is fly the airplane. So just maintain control of the airplane.
Okay.
Not too long ago, over here, 9 miles away from here on South Whidbey at Langley, there was a flight instructor, not anybody from here, with a student, lost an engine, the engine stopped working, and they did not maintain control of the airplane. So they got distracted, and they got slow, and they had a stall spin accident. So they were killed, both of them were killed, where even if you fly into trees or obstacles, if you're coming in at 60 knots, you're probably going to be injured, but you've got a lot better chance of survival than if you stall and come straight in from 200 or 300 feet above the ground, because you're going to die. It's pretty hard to survive that.
Okay.
So the number one thing is fly the airplane. Even if you don't do any checklist or anything, just pick a place, head for it, and control your airspeed, and land, and you're going to come out a lot better.
About 3 years ago, there was a student pilot out here at Payne Field that actually crashed on Harbor Point Boulevard.
Oh,
and there was camera footage, dash cam footage that caught it.
Oh, wow.
And so she clipped the wires ahead, and she landed right there, right in front of the hotel, the new hotel behind QFC there.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened? Why she was an Asian student pilot, and she was female too.
I've heard about it. I've heard the story, and I heard that it took out the power for a bunch of blocks and whatnot.
Yeah, and she walked away.
She walked away
without
yeah.
anything.
Yep. So yeah, she did a good job. I don't know much about it. And somebody else, and I think I've been meaning to go online and search this. Just a few weeks ago, landed in the water right off of Edmonds. I don't know if they landed on the beach or
I think I recall
in shallow water.
Yeah.
Again, the guy walked away from it, so that's what we want to do.
On the way over here, I was driving down Airport Road, and I was thinking to myself, this looks like a perfect runway for an emergency landing. But there was, all the telephone wires.
There's power line. There's lines.
Yeah. Is that an option? Would that be an option?
It totally is an option. I mean, sometimes it's the best you got, but you definitely want to kind of look out for those lines. And like you said, this other person clipped them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely those could injure you, right? If that line came through and it actually hit your body, you can imagine that could be injuring. I've always kind of thought that if I was going to land on a road, I would, as I got lower and lower and lower, I would definitely try to find where those lines are and try to kind of
get under them or over
Get under it, and maybe if I had a little extra speed, level off. And it's going to be tricky because you got cars and all that stuff. So roads can be tricky, but a lot of people land on roads. I don't know how many times I've seen footage of people landing on interstate highways like I-5. It's happened a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I think usually with the plane you can you got some options about working yourself in. You can kind of force yourself down early. So anyway, roads are definitely an option, and as far as the SLOW, they've got it for surface. They've got it right. It's like a perfect surface. A paved surface is exactly what we like.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, call somebody if you can, if you have time. If nothing else, use 121.5. That's available everywhere.
Is that guard?
Guard, yeah.
Okay.
That's available everywhere. Talked a little bit about the wake turbulence, so if you stay above their path, if he's coming in like this, stay above his path and land beyond him. If you're taking off behind somebody, just wait. They're going to make you wait anyway. But the book says take off before them and climb steeper than them, so that is an option if you're able to climb steeper than them.
So there's two scenarios where you want to take off before they rotate, right?
Yeah.
One is when both of you are taking off, and the other is if he's landing and you're coming to a land too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, if he's landing and you're taking off, then it's ahead of where he rotated.
Right. No.
Right?
I'm sorry, say it again?
So if he's landing ahead of you, and you're taking off, you want to do it ahead of where he touched down.
Totally, absolutely, I've never really had to do that. Pretty much any time that I've taken off and someone's landed, they touch down way down the runway. Pretty much since we use intersections, like we usually take off at an intersection, they usually have already landed before where I am. If I was full length, of course, if I went to the full length runway and used the whole full length, then definitely it would be a thing.
Okay.
A few times that I've taken off after aircraft, I don't remember, I think even with the 3 minutes, what I would do is I would rotate and I would climb at the VX speed, which is the slower 55. That means you climb at a steeper angle, and that gives you a better chance of staying above their path. And I usually call tower and request an early crosswind turn. So as soon as possible, I get it away from that path and turn onto the crosswind or turn somewhere.
So if tower doesn't wait the full 3 minutes after a big jetliner takes off, what do you say? What do you call over and say?
I'd say I want to wait a few minutes for wake turbulence.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything that you don't feel is safe, right? So like I said, I would recommend 152 POH.
There's so many different 152s. There's like 152S, 152.
No, you're thinking 172s.
Oh, okay.
So all you need is 152. We've got them up front. They're like $40 or so. And what you want to go to is Chapter 3. So Chapter 3 kind of breaks it down. Engine failure, number one. First thing they go through, force landings, fires, blah, blah, blah. And just read the whole thing. They talk about the speeds that you'd use for different emergencies. And what they first give you is a bunch of checklists to go through. Ditching, which is landing in water, which we don't want to do here. I did mention that today, but we never want to land in the sound. Okay? So we always want to go for land. We always want to maintain enough altitude that we can glide to land.
Okay.
The reason is, number one, the sound is so cold that you will not survive, I don't know, 30 minutes. And that's assuming that you're conscious. I mean, the wheels don't retract, so when you come in and hit that water, the nose is going to come down, and you might get knocked unconscious. You're going to be upside down in freezing cold water, and so it's just not a good scenario.
Okay.
You know, people land in Hawaii and the Caribbean, and that's a whole different
So
story.
let me ask you, you said your favorite practice space is over the water there, so...
Yeah, but I maintain altitude so that, you know, we're never...
Wide distance to make it...
From time to time, I probably, maybe, every now and then, maybe I'll be down at 2,000, but I'm real conscious of it. I'm super conscious of it.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, after you go through all the checklists where you can learn a lot of stuff, landing with a flat main tire, you know, it gets into amplified procedures, so it breaks it down. It talks more and more detail about it. So and this is a really good stuff to read.
Okay.
Forced landings, landing without elevator control, fires, it goes into emergency descent through clouds. So there's a lot of stuff in here. This is an interesting little chart right here. So this basically compares your height above terrain to how far you can glide. So if you kind of look at it, so if you're 4,000 feet, you can go about 6 miles. If you're 2,000 feet, you can go about 3 miles. So what I take that to mean is that for each 1,000 feet, you can go about 1.5 miles. If 6 will take you 4 miles, and I'm sorry, 6,000. Sorry.
Yeah, 6 will take you 10.
So if 4,000 feet will take you
6,
and 2,000 feet will take you 3. Each 1,000 foot is about 1.5 miles. So that's a number I keep in my mind.
Okay.
For each 1,000 feet, I can go about 1.5 miles, which is really helpful for me because my map, my moving map on ForeFlight gives me distance range, so I can kind of quickly look.
But for like a new person like me, I don't even know what 1 mile looking down is versus 3 miles. How do I judge distances up there?
You know, it's you're not going to be completely sure, but I would say the bottom line is just like err on the side of caution. You can kind of look down at an angle. So for me, usually I would think that anything that's like less than a 45 degrees, so that's 90 degrees, that's 0 degrees. So 45 degrees, I know I can make it. Probably more like 50 degrees, something like that. So it's kind of the angle, how far it is.
So a 45-degree angle around your entire radius, how far out is that from the plane?
Well, it depends on how your altitude is. So the higher you are, the further distance that's going to be. And that's why you can glide further distances the higher you are, right?
Okay.
I don't really know that it mentions glide angle in here, like how many feet forward you go for each foot you descend, but yeah, it's basically, you know, just pick something where we can talk about that more in the air. I can start pointing out things to you and just saying, like, we could make that, but we couldn't make that, and maybe that's going to start in your mind kind of clicking in on exactly what it is.
How much of these procedures transfer over to the 172?
They all kind of transfer in kind of what's done and the order that they're done in. Things that might differ would be speeds and whatnot.
Okay.
So the Cessna 172 is a little bit faster, so they're going to have a little bit, whereas this has a best glide speed of 60, the 172 is 65.
So the procedures are all going to be pretty much the same, it's just the numbers are going to be different.
Because the systems and the two aircraft are almost identical. Really, the systems are almost the same. 172 is a safer aircraft because it has dual radios, and most of them have GPSs, and a lot of the GPSs will have traffic indications, which I have my own. I bring my own, but you know, for guys like you, until you get this kind of stuff, you're on your own as far as spotting traffic. So when you solo, if you don't have anything to bring on your own, you're going to rely on your eyes, which is what I did for most of my flying career, because we didn't have the technology.
I'm thinking about getting an iPad, but I just feel like I've already got too much stuff to worry about now. That maybe I should wait.
Yep. If you get one, I can give you guidance. The system I use, I think it's just the absolute bomb. This system that, you know, basically just pops off. It's got the mount right here, and
Okay.
Airlines actually use this, and I would strongly recommend you get a Mini. One of my students got a full size and a 152. It's just way too much.
Yeah.
He was basically, he had a mount, he was mounting it to the yoke, but it's blocking all his instruments.
Yeah.
Like you
that would be so awkward.
Yeah, you can't, it's really like you can't even see like the airspeed.
Yeah.
Like,
and then the weight of it on your yoke too. That's another thing.
and this is really cool. It sticks like you see on the window.
Yeah, because I have a mount for the yoke already, and I use that on the simulator.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting when's a good time to bite the bullet.
You get this, and you get some type of ADS-BN, Sentry. That's going to give you traffic, weather, GPS, moving map, always showing you where you are.
There's no subscription for that, right?
Not for the Sentries.
Okay.
Yeah, for flight, of course you get it. And we talked about which one I use, but you can start with the basic.
And then should we wait for next time to do this? This will probably take a minute, so.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to be somewhere tonight. Okay. Remind me, let's do it before the flight next time. Okay. Let's do it before the flight next time. Alrighty, I'll finish up.
You gotta be somewhere, huh? I was gonna ask you what you're doing for dinner tonight. I was having my neighbors over for a little barbecue.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I probably would have said yes, but I'm actually going to meet up with my cousin and some friends.
Oh, all right.
And then my girlfriend later, but yeah, that's nice of you to think of me like that.
Sure.
When are we flying again?
I think next Thursday.
Alrighty.
I know it's next week, either Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to do Thursday and Fridays with you.
Okay, cool.
And I'd like to do, like I said, 3, maybe even 4 hours if that's okay with you.
Not really in the 152 because, like I said, we don't have the gas for that. Yeah, we don't really have the gas for that.
So what's the longest we could be up there for?
Well, typically we're limited to 14 gallons, which is, by weight of balance. So at 14 gallons, the airplane will go for about, it's about 6 gallons an hour. So, and you need about 3 gallons of reserve. Yeah. So that leaves about 11 gallons. So less than 2. It need to be less than 2.
So we're doing 1 right now, right? 1 hour?
Well, we did like 1.3 today, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we could have done possibly about maybe, honestly, on this fuel, I don't want to do more than like 1.8. So we could have done maybe another half an hour. So you could
maybe stretch it
possibly
at
schedule like a
2.5.
2.5 if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What if we were to use a 172?
Yeah. We would have no limitation. We could do longer lessons for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I ran into a customer of mine at the store. He's actually getting his IFR training here.
Yeah.
I think his name is Trevor, and he said that he did his lessons in a 172 to save. I said I'm doing 152 to save money. He says I wish I would have done that. I said, well, why didn't? He said, well, if I'm going to fly my family in a 172, I want to train in the 172.
That's the thing. Whenever before I was an instructor, I always rented 172s because they're just comfortable and they have better equipment and you can take people, you can take more friends. And so I never used the 152s for. I never really flew them until I started teaching them. I learned in the Warrior and then I moved over to the 172. But they're a money saver. So if you just want to get your rating in them, and like I had a student that got his rating in the 152, and then before he got checked out in the 172 as well, and that's what he flies now. But he did his training in 152, so it's kind of your call.
How long does it take to transition over to the 172?
Not long. A couple flights. Not too much. Pretty straightforward. Just some touch and goes. You'll get used to it pretty quick. So. All right, man.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna get finished up.
Yeah.
Because I got beers waiting on me.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
But I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Me too.
See you next
I look
week.
forward to it.
All right.
Thanks, Kurt.
Take care.
Appreciate it.